Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Next 2020. My name is Gabriela Heizer. Today, we have 4 very special guests, 2 couples, Teanna and Calvin, and Andre and Karen. So we're going to be talking about couples in business and their journey doing business together and working together. Right, guys?
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. So before we get started, I just want to air out some things. You know, we're gonna dive deep. So I want to make sure we're on the same page. So I'm gonna ask a few simple questions, and I want you to just point at which one it fits the description. Okay? So, who's bossier? Who calls the shots in the business?
I guess it's not like a.
Who forgives quicker? Who solves all the business problems?
Are we all just playing?
All right, you guys are pretty good. All right, just want to make sure we are on the same page before moving forward. Let's start with Andre and Karen. Can you guys tell us a little bit about your business and how you guys started out working together?
Yeah, so I'll take it, and then you can jump in.
Yep.
So I own Grizz Creative, and it's a video production company. We do commercial work for clients in all sorts of industries, and we started working together because I needed some help on my shoots, and I was like, "Please, will you come and help me, Karen?" And
then his girlfriend at the time. So I said yes.
And then now she helps me all the time.
As his wife.
Awesome. Teanna and Calvin?
All right. So our company is called Pin Drip. We sell enamel pins, also known as like lapel pins, as you see here on my shirt. I just had an idea one day scrolling through Facebook. I saw some enamel pins being sold. I'm like, hey, this is cool. Like, I wouldn't mind like getting into this, and told Teanna about it, and she agreed, and we just kind of jumped in it together.
That's awesome.
That's how it starts.
So how long have you guys been in business together?
About a month.
Yeah.
About a month. That's
really?
awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
So Grizz Creative has been operating for like 2 to 3 years now. But Karen was helping me even before then because I used to do freelance. So Karen would come to my freelance shoot. So we've been working together probably for like 4 to 5 years. 4 years. Yeah. 4.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Just the thought of it, just wow. So whose idea was it to start the business, and what was the inspiration behind it? I know Calvin and Teanna, you kind of just talked about it, but.
Yeah, so the inspiration, or the biggest inspiration is like when I saw the Facebook page and their pins, they were owned by a Black person, and that kind of gave me the inspiration to like kind of branch out into that area of selling lapel pins and enamel pins, and just trying to like give the world like our creative side, like our culture, just trying to share that with the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we started because I am a filmmaker and I wanted to make videos for other people. So I started as a freelancer. I would get hired to do different jobs for different people. And through the years, I built more clients and a bigger portfolio. And I just decided I wanted to create a company where I can actually bring in people and work with crews and do bigger kind of projects. So that's where Grizz came in, and I created this company. And Karen was with me the entire time, so it was really us.
She gets all the real credit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you guys balance your work-life balance, like with your love life and work life? So how does that work? How is that balanced, I guess?
So with me and Karen, you want to take that actually?
I think it works out pretty well, just because I help with Grizz part-time. So it's not my only interaction with Andre during the day, if that makes sense. So it's not all I'm thinking about. No, but it's not all I'm thinking about. So when he's not doing a project, then when we get home, he can kind of put that, okay, this is to be worked on later, and then we just have our personal life time. And then obviously sometimes it just depends on the timing of things. So if I'm helping with a project and it's a big one or whatever it is and I'm involved, sometimes our personal life kind of like moves to the side because we're working together and focused on the project at hand. But it balances out in the end.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I would say for us, this isn't like our full-time job as well. I work pretty much about 50 hours a week as a supervisor here for a company called Aerotech. And then Calvin is almost finished with his field work. His last day is actually tomorrow. So
Congrats.
Yeah, right. I'm like, yay, turn out. He's in school for occupational therapy. So he graduated earlier this year in May from FGCU. So now, he'll be working full time as an occupational therapist. So when he came with the idea of Pin Drip, I feel like it took more of like his time initially of like, he's looking at designs, doing the research behind like the manufacturing. So like when it comes to balance, it's like, okay, we're off work. Some weekends it's, we're swifting through like designs. We like this, we like that, or like packaging orders. And then sometimes it's like, okay, like let's cook or like let's have a date night. So trying to find the balance since this is newer to us. It's a little different, I guess you can say, but we're definitely trying to make it work on both ends.
Yeah, it's not like black and white. It's kind of like it's flexible, like some days you're gonna work for the whole day, and then some days it's like, all right, like 5 straight days of not talking about work kind of thing, So I feel that.
That's awesome. And one thing I heard in common between both of your responses was that you're not full-time working. So maybe the key is not seeing them all the time.
Maybe we need a third couple in the house to.
That's awesome. So what has been the most challenging and most rewarding part of working together?
All
right. You sound excited.
I'm just being funny, but so she mentioned she's a supervisor at work, and so sometimes I get that supervisor tone, that work tone when it comes to making business decisions. So I'm like, oh, so this is what they deal with.
Disclaimer. I don't know.
Sometimes you need that.
honestly, I can understand that, Calvin. Because I would say that's the hardest part too.
I try to keep my tone the same, I think, but clearly, I guess I have a super
hard
tone.
It's so hard because I do that all the time, and it's really hard. Like I have to like work on it because I, like when I'm working, I'm just like, especially like at a shoot, like I'm like lifting equipment, I'm like directing something or someone, and I'm just focused like on getting the thing done. It's very easy for me to be robotic and be like, Give me the light. Give me the light. This isn't the thing I asked for, and it's like, I'll say it like just right in that tone that like is like totally not okay if it were like not like a stressful work day, but she forgives me a lot. I'm very lucky.
And that's where I would say was the hardest part for me working with Andre, working together in this was, I'm like, you don't talk to me that way.
Yeah, because I'm a really nice guy. Like on a normal day, I'm pretty chill.
I would take it personally. I felt like I was being barked at, and I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't know. And he goes, No, it's fine. I'm just in the mood.
Well, so I guess my hardest thing is adjusting, because really it's like a matter of like her not expecting me to be like the same as I would be like at home, but it's also me working on being more thoughtful, because just because I know her very personally, it doesn't mean that like I can take that for granted, so it's kind of a matter of just trying to consciously be like, okay, let me try to be nicer. If something like if she picks up the wrong thing, like I'm gonna be like, okay, no, it's that thing over there, as opposed to being like, why did you get this? So
he's not mean.
Yeah,
I
I'm
just
not a
want to
mean
clarify.
person.
He's not mean. Even in those moments, he's not mean. It's just getting used to the change of tone because you're in work mode, right? So it's different than your personal life.
Yeah, I went on a shoot with Andre, and I was like, "Why are you talking to me like this? I don't like it." I think it was the one and only shoot I did.
Now we know that.
So you guys said the most challenging. What about the most rewarding part?
I would say just seeing him and like his element, like when the juices are flowing and he's like thinking of designs, or like we just get a pin in and he's like looking at the quality, or like we're packaging. We just ordered like a label maker and like we're getting everything printed. So like just seeing him in that moment just gives me joy, because I'm like, you're doing something that like you love and like this is what you want. So like that brings me joy. I know that sounds kind of like sappy, I guess, but
awesome.
that's what kind of like gives me the joy of like I like like this is why we're doing this, So that's the rewarding part for me.
That's awesome.
For me, I really the most rewarding part is sometimes like on a work, like a shoot day, it's like can be really, really stressful, and sometimes it's really hard. And when you're working with your people that you work with often, it's cool and you guys have a vibe going, but there's nothing like looking at the person who you like live with, who's your like is your ride or die, like next to you, like helping you, making it happen. It makes me feel more like comfortable, like I feel like I have someone who's really understands everything I'm trying to do, like, and doesn't and was willing to put up with it. So to me, the rewarding part is getting to have that comfort otherwise on a day where I wouldn't get that kind of comfort, where it could be more like tough. So to me, that's the most rewarding part. And also seeing the different ways you work, like sometimes like when we're at a shoot, like you're much more like, let's get this done than you are at home, like where you're more relaxed. And it's cool to see that different like mode of like your different mode. Like, all right, let me make sure this is like, I get to see you how you are at your office when I'm not there, and I don't get to see that every day. So that's cool. Anyway, two rewarding things.
What about the opposite now, Calvin and Karen?
So say the most rewarding is just kind of similar to what Andre said, like just to have like that backup, just to have a push from Teanna. Just like when I told her about the idea, just like she didn't say no. She was like, okay, how are we going to do this? And just having like that, at least one person like in your corner that's going to fight with you. Yeah, having that one person in your corner that's going to be there with you, going to fight with you, going to help you see this through. Like we're a month in, and we got a long way to go, but we're going to do it together.
Yeah. Oh, that was so cute. The first one's the hardest, right? What about you?
I think the most rewarding thing is seeing the final product that we make together. I think it's really enjoyable for me to help Andre because it's different than what I do on my day-to-day. I work in a doctor's office, so getting to work at a shoot, working and brainstorming on creative ideas sometimes, depending on the project, that all is very exciting to me. And getting to see Andre in his element and seeing the final product that I got to help make, it is all super rewarding. And I'm very proud of Andre and everything that he gets to do with Grizz Creative. So it's been very cool to see him from the beginning and where he is now.
That's awesome. So I know that, so Andre just released a short film during the quarantine, like in his house. And we all know that Karen really did all the work, but Andre's getting all the credit. So let's talk about that.
Karen
I
did
learned how to pull focus. I learned how to work his camera.
You did some whip pans.
Yeah.
Lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not have been able to do it alone. It was like a lot, Karen. A lot, like it was evenly distributed.
Yeah, I mean, he, planned everything out and then just told me what he needed, and then I delivered.
That's right. I like
So I guess that brings me to like another question is how do you guys split up like the business? I know you guys, neither of you really work full time together, but like, is it 50-50? You do this like everything 50-50, or do you guys like, oh, you're going to do the marketing and you're going to do this? Like, how does that work?
So I do like the website, handle the communication with the manufacturer, handle the designs, and that's about it. And then Teanna.
Oh yeah, so I kind of like help with the designs of like, no, this works. Like, no, this doesn't work. Or let's try this, or let's try that. And then I also kind of focus on like the social media aspect of it, of just posting throughout the day. I like to be very like interactive on my own personal like social media thing. So like I take advantage of the opportunity of being able to like do it behind, the Pindrit page and just communicate back and forth with people. And he also helps with like the song choices on the story, when we are doing like promotional things. But I really enjoy like the interaction that we can get with some of our customers back and forth. So I would say it's like 50-50. I think sometimes it can depend on like what the day is. Like, are we heavy on designs or heavy on processing orders, or are we heavy on promotion? So
yeah, of course. Cool. And I know Andre and Karen, it's different because it's like at the shoot, I guess, but like.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would say Andre pulls most of the weight, and then I get input on some of the ideas, and when we're doing things, I do help to make some decisions on the back end. When he's thinking about what move to make with his business, he'll ask me, and then I can give my 2 cents.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a lot. It's mainly Andre, and then I get to try to sneak in my influence here.
Yeah. So from a shoot day perspective, the load is like mostly on me in terms of making sure that like I get what I need, as a director. But it's also like put a lot of weight is put on Karen's hands to make sure that we're flowing smoothly. So she's kind of like operating the shoot almost like a production manager, and she ends up getting that role often. She just naturally falls into it. But from the back end, like from a business perspective, I'm generally doing the decisions, but like she's like the number one person I talk to about this, who will listen endlessly about what idea I have and has the choice to.
This is true.
And he does talk a lot about it. So, so next question. Well, actually, let me say real quick to anyone watching, if you guys have any questions, just comment below and we'll be happy to address them during the show. So yeah, that's my plug. So my next question is, what is one advice you would give to someone looking to go into business with their partner?
I would say you have to have an open mind.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing that I had to learn, because I'm very used to thinking that the way I think about it is the best way. And then we're collaborating with someone, you see that there's many different ways to get to your end goal. And collaborating with someone is a process, and you're going to have to navigate through different situations, and it's not going to be as easy as you think. So you have to keep an open mind in order to make it through those points and get to your end goal.
Yeah, and then to jump off of that, like I would say the biggest thing that I would say for someone trying to work together with their partner is it's not always easy, but you have to find the line in the sand. Like what is okay and what is not okay, what kind of conversation like is all right to be had at what time, and like having an open mind to find that, because sometimes you're going to cross it like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that at a shoot. Like we're husband and wife, but we're not husband and wife right now. We're working on this project together. So I think finding that line, having an open mind to find that line where you guys are still like respecting each other and showing each other love, but at the same time getting the thing you need to do done and being professional about it. So be open, find that line, and work to find it and respect it, because I think that's the only way you can really be happy with working with a partner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say for me, we're new to this, but some advice that I would give and that I've kind of just learned over time, whether it be like a work relationship or like, even us partnering together in the business, is definitely like just finding that way to communicate and understanding like this person's not in your brain. So like while you may be explaining it like one way, they may not be understanding it or seeing that same way. So just trying to find that way to where both of you guys are understanding like what you're trying to communicate, or else you'll just get completely frustrated of like, why don't you see what I'm talking about? But trying to figure out, you're thinking about a moment. But, just making sure like you guys are on the same page and like he's understanding or I'm understanding like what he's trying to communicate. So especially when it comes to design.
Does Kevin want to add anything?
No, it was off topic. It was off topic.
I shook the table with my hand. He wanted to tell me that.
I love that. So how do you guys resolve? Oh, Lauren has a question. She says, what's the most rewarding part of working with your partner? Oh, maybe she asked this earlier because we answered this one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, they're recapping it, it seems.
Oh, okay.
They're recapping it in the comments.
I love it.
Thank
okay.
you.
So my next, what was I going to say? So how do you guys resolve disputes between you guys? And is it different how you do it like personally and professionally, or is it kind of the same?
So, I mean, sorry, Calvin, do you want to go?
You go ahead.
So when we're working professionally together, a lot of times it's with other people present, whether it's the client or the people you're interviewing or something. So if there's a disagreement, in my eyes, it's handled very discreetly compared to what I would think we would normally do at home. So
Yeah.
you either whisper or you're like, okay, we're gonna do
like
this.
a really like stern look, like something happened and you're like and then like, oh, something's gonna be talked about later, whereas at home it's like, what did you mean by that?
When we're with other people, it's definitely a professional, okay, well, this is what we're doing. No, this isn't what we're doing. Okay, so then what are we gonna do? Move forward.
Yeah.
And then like if you get in the car or when you're home, you're like, why would you do that? Right? So very different, but it's because we're in front of people.
Yeah.
So we're strictly an online business. So we're never in front of people.
Dang.
So yeah, it could get rowdy. I go up like and kind of do the same thing I would do if it was a typical argument. Give her a hug, tell her I'm sorry, and just hold her until she smiles.
And I'm normally like,
I feel it.
All right, if you hear like rain or thunder or rain or thunder, it's pouring outside.
It's pouring outside.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah, we're kind of next to a window. So
Gotcha.
No,
Yeah, you heard a motorcycle earlier? Yeah, it's for next to a window.
Yeah. All this working from home. The parrot was like chirping right when we started, and I was like, oh no, parrot. It's okay. It's part of it. So what's the most valuable thing you guys have learned about yourself individually, like working with your partner, and also about your relationship while working together?
Oh, wow. The most valuable. So Calvin and I have been together 6 years, and we're supposed to be getting married. Hopefully the road leaves. So we're supposed to be getting married in March. I guess the most valuable thing that like I've learned throughout the time of us either being together or of us like being in business together just kind of ties back to communication and trust. Like when he first mentioned the idea of like, hey, I want to start this business, like, I trust that he's going to put his all into it. So, I just really value like his drive and like he's a go-getter. And yeah, just the communication there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think to me, what's the question again? Can you repeat that? I'm sorry. I had it and I lost it.
Yeah.
Junie just got up and I got like distracted by it.
The question was, what's the most valuable thing you've learned about yourself and about your relationship while working together?
Oh yeah. So what I was going to say was that I think the most valuable thing that I learned is how it's cool to see like from like a very like business like perspective, like how we function and our relationship in general functions, and how we complement each other. I think that because when you're working in a shoot or something, you have to get the job done. You're just focused on, and you have to be professional. It breaks down to like your skills and like how you guys come together to make it happen. And I feel like when you remove everything out of the equation and you just put that, it's cool to see how it's rewarding to feel like we really do complement each other, and it's a nice reminder. So that's a really cool thing that I've learned from working with her, is that we complement each other, and it's cool to see that.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and I would say that too, that I really liked what Teanna said for something you should keep in mind when going into business and working with your partner, is that communication is a really big deal. So I think just learning that there's different ways to communicate, right? There's that way we interact at home and then how you interact professionally. And I think I learned about myself how to communicate even better with Andre. And I think it's really valuable that we're able to work in different scenarios together successfully.
That's awesome. What about you, Calvin? You haven't given your input.
Oh, yeah. About myself.
Yeah, let's start with that one first.
I learned that I like when people agree with me.
It's reveal.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's good that we have disagreements, because then we can kind of talk about it, hash it out. Like Andre was saying earlier, find that line. So it just kind of gives me a better outlook on like how I communicate, how I solve disputes, how I meet Teanna halfway, so we can get this thing done. As far as our relationship wise, just like seeing her, like she's kind of starting to take off with the whole marketing thing, and just seeing her take lead on the marketing and just doing this without even asking me, I'm fine with that, because I trust her. I know she's going to do it. So 6 years, yeah, we have a lot of trust together, but this is just a business. This is a business trust is different, and I'm glad I'm able to see that.
That's awesome. So I know like you both are very similar, because you both did long distance relationship for a while, and then you like dated and got married and got engaged and all that, and then you started the business. So my question is, do you think that starting you're like working together, was that I guess do you think that strengthened your relationship, or did that come because your relationship was already so strong, if that makes sense? I don't know if that.
Definitely the second one for us, because like because I already trusted her and I already knew I could count on Karen. Like I was able to be like, hey, can you come and help me? And I knew I was going to be able to convince her too. So, definitely the second one for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Oh. Okay. I agree with the second one. I think, us building that trust and like building our relationship like over the years, opening a business when he brought the idea kind of was like second nature, like let's do it. Because, I do trust you, and like, I've seen you pretty much grow and develop yourself like from, we met, I was a sophomore in college and you're almost a senior. I mean, like a senior, I guess, So just seeing him like grow and like go through his different stages, like I knew that, without a doubt, like I'm supporting you in this, like we'll do this together. So I think because we've had a strong relationship over the years, starting a business was like not even a second thought.
Yeah.
I'm glad you think that way because she didn't have a choice. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm glad you agree.
Thank you.
I love that. So I know you guys Calvin and Teanna just started the business like fresh, and Karen and Andre, you've had it for a while. But what are some of your 3-year goals moving forward, both I guess for like relationship wise and in the business? And what are you doing to develop those goals? Because that's always important.
Yeah. So how many, you said 3 years or just 3-year goal?
Or however many years you want.
Yeah, so our goal is to just kind of continue to grow, continue to reach out. We want to get like a physical presence as well. So like starting like when this whole COVID-19 thing goes away, start going, get in art markets, reach out, be more part of the community, get in like physical stores. Also want to start like making pins for a cause. So like, having purpose and meanings behind the pins and being able to donate to, use the proceeds to donate towards worthy causes. Hoping that, this online business will be able to at least provide, good enough supplemental income to what we'll already be making to help pay off debt, to help us start a family, make sure we're set in that. So a lot of things we're hoping for this business. And as far like for our relationship, like I just said, starting a family or getting married, starting a family, moving in together and just building a life and a foundation for our future family and the generations to come after us.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So for us, business goals, I definitely want to, sorry, I'm slouching. So I definitely want to, I want to start getting, I want to get into virtual production within the next 3 years. I want to start learning more about that space because I think that that's really where we're going in terms of the commercial space. I also want to be working on, projects with bigger scopes than I am now. Just naturally, I'm always looking for working on bigger and bigger projects. And it's all about like climbing and getting that, like climbing that budget ladder, as I like to call it. And so my goal is really that. And eventually I really want to have a team. Like I don't, everyone that I work with right now is contracted out. So I would love to have a full-time producer on my staff and have an office space where we have like an editor or something and have a foundation, like a pillar. So that's really where I want to be business-wise, and relationship-wise. I mean, I'm just ready to grow, like you guys said. I think that's really what I want to do.
Yeah, yeah, and also business-wise, I think you also want me to get more into music videos and whatnot too. So right now, that's something that you're focused on and trying to get to that.
Yeah,
goal.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and creative projects, which is why we did the little short film.
Yeah.
You hear crying.
I heard Junie. Your little dog. Puppy.
So yeah, and that was a big step in us growing together.
Yeah, that's true.
We've had him for like 3 weeks now. So yeah, no plans of anything else for right now other than just working on the life we currently have together.
Yeah, that's awesome. How has your businesses, okay, so I guess different questions since Teanna and Calvin, you started your business during the pandemic, and Andre and Karen, you guys already had it. So how has the pandemic affected the business and you guys working together, because now you're together more often, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think Grizz Creative saw like a decrease in client work during the COVID, during when the shutdown was happening.
Yeah, there was a lot of shoots that way.
You had to cancel a couple of shoots and stuff. So thankfully now that, you know, things have opened up a bit, you've been able to do some shoots again. But for the most part, there's a lot of precautions because if you have to work with other people, everyone wants to wear a mask. And so it's fortunate that then with a camera can be
6 feet away
from the person you're interviewing.
Yep.
And then there was a product shoot that we did. And so since it's just us and we live together, we were able to go and just do that in a studio and rent out the space.
Yeah, we live streamed the shoot for the client.
Yeah,
and
so
so
they-
instead of them coming in the studio like they normally would, they were live streamed in on the shoot, watching us as we did it all day.
So they were able to phone in and you know, make comments, add things that they wanted and stuff. So
That's awesome.
but mostly I think it just got me thinking about how I want to do something different, you know, because that's what we have to be doing right now, like thinking about how are we going to approach what we've been doing before in a new and innovative way. And that's why I'm looking at, like I said, I'm looking at like what I can do to, you know, get myself out there more in terms of producing more creative content. And I'm looking at spaces that I'm not really familiar with and trying to explore that avenue and see where I can possibly make a profit out of that, you know? So like I said, virtual space right now, but it's just an opportunity to think differently about what we're doing.
That's awesome.
So I think for Pindrip, it's early. It's a month in. Two things come to mind though, like I mentioned earlier, like the art markets and just getting out to the community, meeting people, just getting our business name out there. Just kind of building that foundation. I think that's kind of has affected us because we're not physically able to do that. Well, we weren't able to do that, but now things are starting to open up. So we'll start to jump on that. And also with manufacturing and shipping of the pins, things have slowed down tremendously. So we don't get our shipments in like as quickly as possible. You know, before COVID, like they don't come in as fast as possible as they were before. So that kind of slows down production and business.
And I would say even more so of like, you know, just working in corporate America and like you seeing things happen like this and it affect the economy and there being like a reduction in workforce and layoffs. I feel like now even more it just, you know, fuels that fire of like starting your own business and being your own boss and kind of having more control over like your finances or like your current occupation, just because like you kind of don't know, you know, depending on how the economy goes, if the wind blows this way, you know, or if, you know, business declines in this aspect. So kind of having that supplemental income and like creating your own business allows like that space for you to kind of have like a safety net financially.
Yeah. It's important. Did your company start, like, was it an idea that you guys had during like quarantine and stuff, or is this something you guys have always had in mind that you've been working on?
Yeah, so it was around February, so a little bit before quarantine, and then quarantine happened, and it was kind of like it got a little bit extra time on my hands, so might as well just started and just actually, you know, I've had a lot of dreams, a lot of things, you know, I wanted to do, and just never jumped on them. Like, well, if I keep, you know, just dismissing them, nothing's going to ever come to fruition. So,
right,
just found like this time just to work out and just jump on it and just go for it. Because you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
That's right.
That's awesome. I think it's awesome that you guys started the company like through all that. I think that's really brave. You know, a lot of people probably would have waited more and, you know, always like pushed it off. So it's awesome that you guys went for it. I was going to say something else. So I think that's all the questions I had for you guys, unless you guys have anything else you want to add, some valuable information you forgot to chime in.
Oh, I do want to show you guys some of our pins. So like,
yeah.
here you have 3. So Calvin has his crown pin like on right now. That pin's name is Royalty.
Wow, that looks nice.
And then we also have our.
I saw that one online. It looks so cool.
Our caution drip alert. And then my favorite one, are bad in bougie.
Yeah, I love that one.
Well, it's been just really fun, like kind of like making these creative like ideas and like just really seeing them like come to life. And I'm just excited to like make more, design more, and then like, you know, just see people like wearing our pins and they know like, hey, like that's pin drip. So it's definitely been an exciting journey. And I can't wait to see like, you know, where we go from here.
And
That's
I have
awesome.
a question for you guys. Do you both work on the designs, or is one of you? Do
Yeah.
both of you collaborate on designs, or?
Yeah, we both collaborate. I mostly like come up with a design or an idea, and then I'll show Teanna, and she'll say, "Hey, I like it. Hey, I don't like tweak it here, tweak it there," or she'll come to me like, "Hey, let's do something like this," and then like I'll sketch it, design on a computer, and then we could
That's
go
awesome.
from there. And so
Were
we
you artistic before?
huh?
Have you always been artistic, or is this just a like a new way to express that?
Yeah, so I've uh, played. I've been in the band since. Well, I was in the band starting in elementary school all the way up to 8th grade. Played the flute, drums, piano.
Me too. Well, I just got the flute, and then he went on. I was like, wait.
So, like, the art kind of like always been inside me. As far as like getting into designing, kind of like graphic design, I'm still like a novice in that, but I can do enough to make this to design the pins and things. That's been
They
like,
look great.
Yeah, they look awesome.
They look
thank
great.
you, thank
I
you.
really love the booty boo.
Yeah.
This one's my favorite.
Yeah, it's so good.
But yeah, it's always kind of been inside me to create and to design. Just haven't fully taken it to like making it a full-time thing. So it's
They
something.
look great though. Congrats to you guys.
Yeah, I always say this, like everyone, like I think first of all everyone's a creative person, whether they think so or not, but I also think that a lot of us are like creative and we're repressing it, and I think that it's cool to manifest it and like create a business out of it. I think it's really awesome because I think it's just more than that, like but before even the business side, like you're expressing yourself, and then everything extra is like, all right, like that's awesome. Let's grow,
Right.
So I think it's really cool. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, especially since it's so different from what you do on the daily, right?
Yeah.
You're sitting to be an occupational therapist, same.
Yeah.
So, well, not same exactly, but I'm in the medical field, and then doing this is completely different, but I love it too. So,
So it's kind of like a break from that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And it also, like, your company is a good push to get started and like go full force in that,
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, guys. So you guys have been great. Before I let you guys go, though, I definitely want you guys to give that 2020 family your social media handles or email or website or whatever. That way they can follow up with you and keep track of the business and what you guys are doing. So go for it.
Yeah, if you want to check out our stuff, our work, our past work, what we do and what we're working on, just go to our website, which is www.grizzcreative.com. And if you want to keep up with us on social, it's just @GrizzCreative on Facebook, Instagram. We have a Twitter, but it's not really in use. We just have a link on there. But yeah,
the website. The website's nice.
Yeah, but really, Facebook and Instagram. That's where you'll see us posting our day-to-days on the shoots that we're having, and any work that we just released that we want to share with people. So that's where you go.
And if you're interested in working on a shoot, you can always
Message us.
Yeah. So
Love
great.
that.
You want to take it?
Oh no, you can. You have it right.
So yeah, if you want to just shop around and check out our pins, we got some other cool things on there, some stickers. We're going to come out with some shirts soon. You can just go to www.pindripofficial.com. That's PINDRIP official.com. And our Instagram is pindrip @pindripofficial. And you can find us on Facebook as well at Pindrip.
That's awesome. And I know Andre and Karen's new puppy also has an Instagram in case you want cute puppies.
Gabby, no.
I had to.
Instagram handle.
You need a Yorkie. JUNI.
I'll be following.
Thanks. Our goal is to make him Insta famous.
And you can get like puppy sponsorships and like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Dog
You know, like if you try to get Insta famous yourself, I feel like there's a level of vanity to it. But like wanting your puppy to be famous, it's a different story. It's like more selfless, you know. I'm just joking.
That's their next business.
Puppies in business.
Malcolm says he loves the pins.
Oh, hi, Malcolm.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So I think that's all we have for today. If you guys tune in next week and see what else we have cooking for our next theme. You guys will find out soon. I always post beforehand. But thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you both, you four, for being on the show today. Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
For having us, Gabby.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Of course.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.